Okay, well, shall we get started?
Yep, go ahead.
Oh, good. Hello, everybody, and welcome. I'm Alana, for those of you who don't know me, and I want to welcome you to my kitchen. So we're going to do another cooking class on behalf of Pure Indian Foods, and today we're going to focus on using two of my very favorite spices, and one is the Tandoori Masala, which I love, and the other is the Worcestershire sauce. And so actually, we're going to get started right away. And while this is actually cooking, then I'll talk to you more about everything. But I'm going to just I want to just put this down a little bit so you can kind of see my, there you go. So can you see that okay? I've got a couple chicken breasts here, right? So I'm going to just season my chicken breast. And I've also got a cast iron skillet that I'm heating up as well. So to start with, I'm just going to season. This is one of the easiest recipes in the world. I've got some pink Himalayan sea salt here. And I'm just going to sprinkle some sea salt on my chicken breast. Now, you don't have to use a breast. You could use legs or thighs, or you could do this with a whole chicken that you've even cut in half. I'm going to put some pepper on this. And I actually have some Malabar black pepper here that I decided I want to use for this. I'm going to sprinkle that over the top too. And then I'm going to, there you go. I want to get that pretty evenly over there. Okay. And then I think this is good enough. And now what I'm going to do is season it with the Tandoori Masala. So I'm just going to kind of wave that all over. And this has just got such a great flavor that I'm so glad I decided to combine the two, the Worcestershire sauce with this. So there we go. Okay. So now that's it. That's how we start. Okay. So I'm actually going to move you directly over here so you are able to see my cast iron skillet that I'm heating up. And I'm going to put some ghee in that right now. And I decided to use garlic ghee for a little extra flavor there. Garlic ghee is phenomenal. So I'm just going to put that in there and bring this over here. And this is getting nice and hot here. And I'm actually going to turn the heat up to about a medium high, because I actually want to sear the skin on the chicken and sear those juices in. There we go. So I'm going to let that sit for just a minute while that gets hot. So I just want to ask, can everybody see this okay? If not, can you raise your hand or just unmute and let me know? I just want to make sure everybody has a clear vision of this. Okay, Courtney, it looks like everybody's good, right? Okay, excellent. Good. Okay, so then once this is hot, I'm going to put it in there skin side down. Now you can also, this is the chicken breast and it's got the skin on it. You could, this one has bones in it. This is the way it came from the store. It doesn't have to have bones, but it doesn't really matter.
That's
you don't
the way
even
it came from God.
What's that?
I said that's the way it came from nature.
It did. That's true.
With the bones.
So I'm just going to sear that skin side down. Very true. But whatever you buy will work with the seasoning. All right. And so now I'm going to just put this one down in there too and get that. There you go. So it's going to sear that skin. Throw that out. Okay. And my goal here is to get it brown. Now, while it's down like this, I'm going to go ahead and season just gently the underside a little bit, because there's still some good meat on the bottom. Can you guys hear that? Can you hear the sizzle? So, huh? So, okay. Here. All right, and now I'm gonna get my tandoori seasoning. And season the meat. That too. Because I'm gonna flip it here at some point and kind of sear the bottom as well. Good. And then once I think this is adequately seared, what I'm gonna do then is put it in a hot oven, moderately hot oven. So 375 is gonna be just right for this. I'm gonna sneeze because of, I just breathed in a little of the spices. So if I sneeze, you'll know why. I guess I'll be okay here. All right, so it's gonna take just, a couple minutes here to do this. And actually, we linked to the recipe that I originally did for this on the website. And it is actually the chicken leg. It's actually chicken leg and thigh. It's a combination, but you'll get an idea too of what that looks like if you'd rather do that. But either way, it's just wonderful. The breast might take a little bit longer though to cook, but we've got our oven that's preheated, and so we're fine. So we're just really gonna let that sear. I want that to brown nicely in the garlic ghee. And you take a peek. That's coming along really well. Get that there. That. Good. So once this is adequately browned and seasoned on both sides, at that point, I'm going to transfer it to the oven, but not before I douse it with some Worcestershire sauce and even just a little bit of lemon juice. And because it's going to need to cook in the oven for about 30 minutes or so, and that's just my oven that's preheated. I want to get that done and in the oven right now. Okay, good. So you can see this is good. All right, let's take a quick peek at this. Okay, this looks good. Can you see that now that I flipped that over? So yeah, this is also ready to be flipped. It's got a nice brown. There you go. Bit there. Okay. See that? How's that look so far?
Looks really good.
Good. Okay. Sometimes what I'll do is just kind of stand it up a little bit to let it sear the sides for a second. But no worries, it'll still all get done just fine. There you go. Now I like cast iron for this, but you could do this in another pan. You could do it even in a non-stick if you put some ghee down in there, or you could do it in stainless steel, or even at like a Dutch oven or a cast iron that's enamel coated will work. But cast iron has some kind of a magic in it that's just inexplicable. So now I'm going to let this actually continue for a little extra time, because that's actually going to help it cook through a little bit faster. So it'll come out of the oven a little bit faster too. There. Okay. Anybody have any comments or questions about any of this so far? As I always say, I'm waiting for the technology when you can smell what I'm smelling. It's just not here yet. So good. All right. I do see an area here though where I want to just flip this up and let it stand there. Just here. There you go. That part, and the same with this. Yeah. Okay. Okay, so as that cooks, you can see steam coming off of it, and the ghee has a wonderful aroma too. So I'm actually going to talk to you a little bit now. So I'm going to bring you over here with me again while that's continuing to cook for just a few more minutes. Hello again. And show you what I've got. I have some freshly squeezed lemon juice, the Worcestershire sauce, which is going to go on it next, and then in the hot oven. I've also got a meat thermometer because I want to test it, and make sure that it's done. And in the meantime, just cooks it on the sides. Oh, what's that? I'm missing something. Was that a question in the chat?
Yeah, can you see the chat?
Yeah, I'm gonna look at that right now. Make
Do you have a
sure.
way to open it?
I got it. Okay, hello. I love it. Oh, Northern California. I used to live in Northern California in the Bay Area. Okay, everybody can see. I know this isn't Indian, but sometimes I cook chicken and mayonnaise. Yum, I love it like that. And spices and then pan cook it. I have actually done similar things before. I think it's wonderful. What does standing it up do? Well, when I just put it on its side, yeah, it just cooks it on the side like Courtney just said. Really, that's my goal. Hang on, guys. I'm actually gonna just see how it's coming underneath too. Looking good. So, okay. Actually, I'm gonna show you really quickly what it looks like and why I'm ready now to put it in the oven. Okay. So you can see that. So you can kind of see here. You see what that looks like now on the back? It's browned like that. And it's the same here, right? So these breasts came in a package where one of them is considerably smaller than the other. So this one may need extra cooking. All right, I'm going to transfer this now to my oven. So let me just do that. There you go. Turn the flame off. All right, so that's going to cook, and I'm going to check this now. Put you back over here. I'm going to go ahead and set a timer. I'm going to check this in about 25 or 30 minutes. So we'll just go like this and see where we're at. Here we go. All right, good. Now, let me go back to the chat and make sure I didn't see or miss anything else. Okay. Near San Francisco. Okay, east of San Francisco, near Sacramento. I know the area very well. Grew up there before we moved to Hawaii. That's where I lived for many years. Okay, so I wanted to talk to you about Worcestershire sauce and why I was so excited that Pure Indian Foods came up with this wonderful Worcestershire sauce, because it was something that I grew up with. As somebody who comes from Louisiana and a family of very Southern cooks, I was always, there was always spices. In other words, Cajun food was just part of our family. That's just the way it is in Louisiana, all right. And my father, born in Baton Rouge, and cousins all over from Houma to Metairie to Baton Rouge to everywhere, right? So it was just, every family event was a big Southern Creole, kind of a gathering. And basically nothing ever came out of anybody's kitchen that didn't have a good deal of spices and some kind of occasion kind of flavor, right? So Worcestershire sauce is absolutely used in Cajun cooking, but it is not Cajun at all. And in fact, what I learned was surprising to me when I first learned it. We always used in my family something called Lee and Perrins. You've probably heard of that. It's like the most common Worcestershire sauce on the market, right? Lee and Perrins. They make it by fermenting anchovies. And it gives this kind of, initially probably a horrendous, awful smell. But after it's fermented for a long time, that process of fermentation really breaks down bacteria and other components of the food and turns it in. Yes. Thank you, Susan. It turns it into a delicacy. Yes. And so and my father's favorite sauce in the whole world, favorite thing, was Worcestershire sauce, the Lee and Perrins. So it didn't matter whether it was breakfast, lunch, or dinner, Lee and Perrins came out of the pantry and onto our table. So it would go on his scrambled eggs. It would go on everything. I mean, he'd get salad dressing, even like a bottle of like Wishbone or something that my mom bought back in the 1960s, and douse it with a little Lee and Perrins. So that's how crazy he was, right? So what I learned is that that this sauce that was so near and dear to my family actually originated in India. And that was surprising to me because India for many eons has been, in many cases, primarily vegetarian, right? So I could not imagine India fermenting anchovies. That didn't make any sense, right? Especially not after living there for a year and traveling around a bit. It was like, I don't think that just doesn't make any sense, right? So what I found out is that the sauce originated in India and then it made its way to England. And that's where it really got popular and it became commercialized in the early 1800s. It was 1837. And most recipes do use anchovies to give it that signature taste. But it's very unlikely that anchovies were used and fermented in India. But what likely they did use was good old hing, which is the asafoetida. That's the resin of this giant fennel plant that turns into something that can be extremely off-putting in terms of its odor. Some people say fragrance, but when you cook it, it becomes mellow and smooth and gives just enough kind of pungency and even lends a bit of umami, to use the Japanese term, to create a flavor that is absolutely wonderful and somewhat reminiscent even of onion and garlic. And that would have been far more likely. So we added hing to our Worcestershire sauce, but just a tiny amount, but just enough to give it that subtle flavor. When you say, Courtney, you can kind of perceive that it's in there, but it's not at all an overpowering thing.
I mean, if you're a hing person and you love hing, there's some people that love it and some people that hate it. I don't feel like there's anyone that's on the fence. You either love it or hate it. It's like cilantro. But if you like hing, which I do, I can definitely taste it. I mean, it's subtle, but I know that if you took it out, it would just not be the same, you know?
Yep.
So it definitely adds a little extra oomph.
Yeah. It's got a flavor that would be similar to leek, garlic, onion, something like that. Yeah. So anyway, Susan, let me see what she said there. So she says she's a hing lover. Love when I open my Indian spice cupboard and smell that smell. Yeah. You either love it or hate it. I totally love it. I mean, but I told Courtney one time I had a neighbor walk into my house and turn around and walk right back out again because I've been cooking with hing. And so what I do now is I take the hing and the jar and I put it in another jar. Oh, I wrap it in tin foil and then I stick it in a bigger jar with a lid and then I leave it in my cupboard and you can't smell it.
I honestly feel like that's overkill. I do not do that with mine and it's fine.
Oh, really?
I don't know. Mine's
fine. Is it overkill? Like, what could I do? Just because leaving it in the jar alone, you could smell it as soon as you open the pantry.
I don't know. Maybe it's because I have my spices on a little, my spice shelf. I have it out in my dining room. All my spices are in glass jars on display. And so the hing is just there. I don't know if now my house just kind of smells slightly of hing, but it's just a pinch of hing, just like in our Worcestershire sauce where it's not overwhelming. It's fine.
That's good. Okay.
It doesn't smell bad. I don't get comments about it.
Yeah. Good. Well, it works brilliantly in Worcestershire sauce. Now, I've tried a number of other vegan or vegetarian Worcestershire sauces before, and this is absolutely my favorite one. It is also true that they have a bit of sugar, or in some cases even high fructose corn syrup was added at one point to many of them. Sugar is added. I just not good, but we added jaggery, and jaggery has an amazing caramelly rich flavor. Mm-hmm. So just a little bit of jaggery to give it that sweet flavor. And then we used some organic white vinegar, which is also important for Worcestershire sauce. And so that is what made it. So the ingredients are the vinegar, the jaggery, water, and of course you have to have tamarind paste. And the tamarind also gives it that sour, but also that fruity, indescribable tamarind flavor. So any good tamarind, including the original and the Lee and Perrins, or a Worcestershire sauce, will always have tamarind in it, definitely. So it's got the tamarind, it's got garlic and black pepper, allspice and ginger, some sea salt, a little bit of cayenne, so it's got a tiny, tiny bit of a kick, cloves, and then it's got the asafoetida and some nutmeg and just a pinch. But all of that goes to making it a really yummy product. So we're going to do that as well. Now, I chose the Tandoori masala, and here you go. I'm going to show that to you again. So tandoori is an amazing food. So tandoori spice mix is typically a blend that's usually got cayenne and garam masala, garlic, onion, ginger, things like that. When Pure Indian Foods put theirs together, they made it from paprika, cumin, coriander, garlic, ginger, and cardamom. And it is really my all-time favorite. Again, it's just got this wonderful, wonderful flavor, and it just adds to everything. So I've got chicken in the oven right now, but I grew up in Hawaii. When we left Northern California, we moved to Honolulu for my dad's work. My mom and dad stayed in Honolulu for like 23 years. And so that was always home, right? Going back to Hawaii. I grew up eating a primarily Japanese diet, you know, Hawaiian food as well, mostly Japanese and some Chinese. And in that culture, tofu is a regular part of your diet, right? So I grew up eating seaweed, tofu, a lot of rice, a lot of fish, right? And Japanese seasonings and such things. So I still eat tofu. I never stopped. I found at Trader Joe's, they sell sprouted tofu. So I will take sprouted tofu and I will do the exact same thing with that I'm doing also with my chicken. Oh, that's good to know. Thank you, Annie. So maybe it's an overkill, like you were saying, Courtney. I don't want my neighbors to not come back in again. So anyway, yeah.
Oh, I will say
Annie,
though.
hi, Annie.
Hey, Annie.
Nice to see you.
Oh, hi. I'm cooking, so I'm kind of running back from and forth from the kitchen. So, but
No, that's okay. Tell us how you use your hing.
well, I am using it right now. I made
Good.
a basil parsley pesto. And
Wow.
you know, for me, the tiniest pinch is
Yeah,
all I
it
need,
does it.
you know. Yeah.
Yeah.
It
That's
is.
awesome.
I love it. Yeah.
Great. Good. Okay, thank you. So, okay, so let me see. Okay, good. So this tandoori seasoning is wonderful. I will take the tofu and cut it in a slab, you know, about a ½ inch thick, and do the same thing in my cast iron skillet with garlic ghee. And it is wonderful. And then I just throw it in the oven and I bake it for like 20 more minutes. It's delicious with basmati rice, salad, vegetables, or whatever. So, all right, let me take a quick peek at this. It smells great, and that is cooking just fine. So I'm gonna go about another 13 minutes or so, and then we'll check it, okay? So the tandoori actually is wonderful. Now recipes for making a tandoori seasoning can vary really a lot. So Pure Indian Foods did their own version. Courtney, do you know, did Sandeep come up with this version?
I think it's Nalini's.
Nalini did, Sandeep's wife. It's so good. Okay. So, but the purpose is really to season meat and then to lower it into something called a tandoor, which is like a big oven. It's a clay oven. and you lower it in there, and you literally cook it until it becomes this meltingly tender, wonderful, flavorful meat, right? But fortunate for us, if we don't have a tandoor, and I certainly don't, we don't have to. We can still use this seasoning, and it is so good. Now, one thing you can do, some people have a clay pot or like even a Dutch oven, and you can season meat with this and with ghee, like the garlic ghee and this and everything else. And you can slow cook it in your oven or in a slow cooker, you know, like 250, 275 degrees or something for hours until the meat just gets super tender. You want to make sure, of course, that it's covered so that the moisture is retained, but you can also do that. It's fragrant and excellent. So I think this tandoori seasoning is great with fish, chicken, beef, wild game, poultry, tofu, tempeh, which is a fermented soy product, which is also fine. And then, you know, you can also, I know this sounds crazy, I've done it before, put a teaspoon of this in rice or a grain when you're cooking it, and it flavors it beautifully. So you can do the same kind of thing with grain. Some garlic ghee, some tandoori, a drop of this, and salt and pepper. Delicious rice as well. And kind of a bit of what you might find with a little bit of Cajun type of seasoning, you know, that kind of thing. So, okay, any thoughts or any questions about anything? Anybody have any comments? We've got about 10 minutes before I check this. Courtney, go ahead.
Okay, I wanted to add to what you were saying about growing up Asian culture and with Japanese food.
Yes.
I'm Vietnamese, so I obviously grew up with Asian food as well. And I wanted to say that I've been mixing the Worcestershire sauce with soy sauce or like tamari, and it makes the best dumpling sauce. It's like just so delicious. And then my friends made mango jam, and so I stirred it into the mango jam. And it's also a good dipping sauce. I'm just saying, if you want like to get creative with dipping sauces, a little bit of Worcestershire sauce, because it has the vinegar, you know, I'm always using rice vinegar.
Yeah, I do
and
too.
Like usually brown sugar or something.
I do that too.
Sauces. And then it has cayenne and garlic, like it's already seasoned. So I'm just using it as a like all-in-one replacement with the soy sauce. And then added the mango jam just because, and it was great. So I'm just saying.
No, that's great. I wonder if anyone has thought to try Worcestershire with tamarind paste, or even with the tamarind with a date, you know, how that would be.
The tamarind date chutney?
A date with tamarind chutney with Worcestershire. How do you think that would go?
I think that'd be great. I'm gonna probably do that later.
Because the tamarind date, the date with tamarind, are you all familiar with it? Let me show you what I'm talking about here, so you can see it. It's called a date with tamarind, and I have it right here, and it is so good. It's tamarind, right?
Your label's
open it up for you. There you go. Put this down so you can kind of see inside of it there. And it is just this wonderful thick date syrup with tamarind, and it's just wonderful. It's sweet and sour. So it's tamarind, it's got dates, cumin, Kashmiri chili, so the Kashmiri red chili, dried ginger, sea salt, and love, of course, right? And that is good.
I put that on there.
Yeah, so this also is great. I love how you did that. That's also really, really good with meat as well. So meats mix really well with fruit. And in fact, it's not at all uncommon to see like meats roasted in the old days, like, you know, back in the 1700s, 1800s, even they would roast meats with dried fruits that were, you know, reconstituted, and or you would see like figs and apples and all of these wonderful fruits surrounding like roasted pork or whatever, you know. So the fruit is a really nice touch as well. So I'm actually going to, because there's a smaller chicken breast in there, I'm just gonna pull that out here. And in fact, I'll take you over there and show you what I'm gonna do here. So I've got a little meat thermometer. So I wanna pull this out and just check that because I don't want it to be overcooked either for the smaller one. So this is what it's looking like so far. So let me turn that down so you can see that. This right here. Okay, good. So I'm just going to take this and see where I'm at with this. Put that on. Oh my goodness. Well, it's supposed to work. Let's see. So I think my meat thermometer does not work. Yeah, I don't think it does. Let me see if I stick it in there. No, it's not working. See? Oh, well. So I think what I will have to do is just cut a little bit of it open to check. So let me do that. There. All right, let's see. So I'm just gonna see, like, I'll just do it on the side that doesn't have the skin here. So it looks like the juices are kind of running clear. I need to get a new meat thermometer, I guess. Okay, this looks like it's almost done. Can you see that inside of there at all? So this is slightly pink, but not much. So I'm gonna just close that back up and stick it in there for maybe another 5 or 6 minutes. Okay, in you go. And that should take care of it. So let's do that again.
Susan says you may just need a battery.
Oh, well, tell me that, really? Let me get that. Just need a battery?
Also,
oh, yeah, I see. I can turn that out. Right, and unlock it. I see that. Yeah, that's probably it. That part right there, right?
oh yeah, just turn it.
Yeah, I think
Little
you're
watch
right.
battery.
Yeah. There's something on the back that says FC. Does anybody know what that means? First class? FC. Don't know. Okay. All right. Well, I will open that up and then I will put a new battery in there and reset it. Thank you. Good. Okay. Questions, thoughts, anything you think I left out? Anybody want to tell us your experience with hing or asafetida and or Worcestershire sauce or anything else? Guess what I forgot to do, you guys? I've been so busy talking. Let me take it out. I forgot to put that on. Hang on. 1 second. Let me get you back over here. I got so busy talking. Okay. Hang on. Can you see?
We can see.
All right, let's get this and lemon juice. Stick it back in there for the rest of the 10 minutes. Okay. So, got my Worcestershire sauce. There we go. It's just gonna go all over there, just like that. Trust me, you won't forget to do this. But there. Like that. And season it. And I can see I'm gonna have to order some more of this because I'm running out. Okay. Just like that. Perfect. And I am actually going to put a little bit of lemon on there too. Just a wee bit of lemon to kind of go over. And move it on that side too. And that's it. Now, back in the oven. There. All right, good. Now, okay, anybody, any thoughts? Anything at all? Let's check the chat here. 3 more. Okay. Tamarind chutney with, oh, okay. Oh, how interesting. So Samrana says they make tamarind chutney with a pinch of hing. Yum. All right, and I do need a battery. And what am I going to serve? Okay, good question. So what I've made here, let me show you, is this right here. So, okay, there you go. So I made some basmati rice, okay? So I cooked it earlier because I wouldn't have time right now. So I've got it, this is the aged premium basmati rice. And I cooked this with a pinch of turmeric and some saffron. I put a little bit of Himalayan pink salt in there. And I also put in there, see if you can find it, just about 1/4 teaspoon of some cumin seed, because I am a huge lover of cumin. I love it on almost everything. I mean, even when I make like guacamole, when I do whatever, I mean, cumin goes in it for me. So I've got that. And then I also got this together for myself. And I'm going to serve this. So I've got a salad, a green salad, and I have some heirloom tomato that I chopped up that I'm going to put on that salad. So that is going to be what I'm going to have. And what I typically do, just so you know, here is before I eat like a big meal, this is an ancient little Ayurveda trick that I learned that I love. So it stimulates the digestive fire called Agni, and it's wonderful. So I take some fresh ginger root and I just slice it up into little pieces, maybe 1/2, 3/4 inch pieces. And let me get it out here. There you go. Let me show you what it looks like. I slice it up and I put it in a little glass jar. And there you go. Can you see that? Like that.
Mhm.
Put it in a little glass jar. And then I put over it freshly squeezed lemon or lime juice, but usually lemon, and a pinch of the Himalayan pink salt. And it just give it a little shake, and not much, just a little bit. And the ginger is absolutely delicious. And if you eat just a little piece of that before a big meal, or if your digestion is slower at nighttime, you can take a little bit of that. Or if you don't take it, but then you're moving around and a few hours later, you still feel like this food is still sitting in your stomach and it's not really digesting very quickly and you want to go to bed, have a couple pieces of that. And it really works. It's wonderful. It's a great little Ayurveda trick. So that is going to be my lunch for today. I wish I could feed you all, but I think you could easily repeat this recipe and this idea. So good. Okay, anybody else? Thank you. Or any questions about anything, including Ayurveda? Anybody have any thoughts? Okay. So this particular recipe that we've done here with the tandoori. Oh, Annie, go ahead. Oh, hello.
There we go. Hi.
Hi.
Yeah, this is Jim.
Hi,
Jim.
Could you just repeat that little, I mean, I've heard of that before, but I never heard of putting it in a jar. Could you just do that little thing
Wheel
quickly?
again.
Yeah.
Sure.
Thank you.
Yeah. So, that's one thing that I just love so much about Ayurveda is they have all these little quick fixes for things. It's just wonderful, right? So one trick for increasing the digestive fire that they call Agni, A-G-N-I, Agni, which is basically adequate stomach acid and ability to digest the food in your stomach. One trick for increasing that and supporting good digestion is to take fresh ginger root and to slice it. I remove the skin and then I slice it into little slivers like you just saw. And then you put it in a little glass container, not plastic, but glass. And you put just a little bit of lemon juice over it, maybe a teaspoon or two, but it's going to depend on how much ginger you cut up. So you want to marinate it like that. And then a pinch of Himalayan pink salt. If you don't have that, just some good quality salt that you have. If you don't have lemon, but you have lime, that's fine too. You could probably even do it with vinegar, but Ayurveda has said lemon with salt. And so that's what I've read many times, and it works. You know, the salt is also stimulating to the digestive fire, as is the acid in the lemon. And then you mix that with the pungency of the ginger, and you've got a great recipe for not just stimulating digestive fire or adequate stomach acid, but you've also got a recipe there for digesting your food later after you've eaten, like if you have acid reflux, because it's just sitting there, right? So it does that. It's also an anti-inflammatory, right? So it's just a good thing to do. And you can use it like pre-meal or post-meal. It's just great. It's wonderful. So it's a digestive aid plus more even. So does that kind of answer your question?
Yeah, that's great. I see somebody else asked though how long it would keep in the fridge.
Well, you know, the lemon and the salt are preservative, right? So it's going to keep a nice long time. Yeah, it's going to keep a while. You know, it doesn't really. Now you can cover it even with more lemon juice, but I use it so fast. This is adequate for me. If you can kind of see about what I do, you know.
Yeah, like a little hang jar.
Yeah. I mean, I only do enough for like 3 or 4 days at a time, you know, or something. I mean, to me, it's so good. I mean, I just eat it anyway, even if I don't have any need for it. But I find that for myself, I have, you know, great digestive powers earlier in the day, but by the time I'm tired at night, like it doesn't work for me to have a big meal because, you know, my body is just going to be like still digesting when I'm trying to go to sleep. And then if I fall asleep at like, you know, 9 o'clock, because I've been up since 4 o'clock or whatever, I could wake up at like 1 a.m. or 2 o'clock, like feeling heartburn. And I don't like that. So I don't let it happen. And, you know, I'll just have this, or I just eat light dinners, like a little bowl of khichdi, you know, or something like that, or bowl of soup or something. You know, I feel better as a vegetarian at night, but I'm not a vegetarian often during the day. I just kind of go with what my body needs, you know, but one thing is certain, and that is whole, real food and traditional foods. Traditional fats, especially, are critically important, you know, just really important. Yeah, good. All right. Thank you, Annie. Anybody else have any thoughts before I pull this out of the oven? Anybody?
Did we answer the question about hing being heated?
About what being heated?
Does hing have to be heated?
You know, I don't know. I don't think you have to heat it. You could add it to something like a little salad dressing. I would blend it in something that eventually it has a little bit of water or oil, because that would help to extract the flavor of it. But I don't think it would have to be heated necessarily. But when it cooks, it does mellow it out. But if you're just using a few little tiny crumbs of it to flavor like your unheated sauce, I think that would probably be fine, you know? What do you think, Courtney? Have you any experience with that?
I don't think it has to be heated.
I don't either. All right,
No.
let me pull this out and show you. Okay. Lovely. So I'll put it on my counter here, and I have granite counter, so it's going to be fine. There you go. That's what it looks like here. And it smells absolutely wonderful, just wonderful. So I'm just going to take a quick peek inside of it again here, but I already can tell you it is perfect. It's cooked. So I'm not even going to worry about this one. So I can deal with that one later. So this is absolutely fine. I'm going to stick this on my plate here and show you what I've got. Oops, let me put this back over here. Turn that off. Okay, and I'm going to plate up what a little bit of lunch might look like here. Hopefully you will want to do something similar. Lovely, like this. Now, sometimes I'll do just some cooked vegetables as well, and then have a little salad on the side, you know. Salad for me is really eaten mainly in the late spring and the summertime. I know a lot of times people will do salads all year long, but for me, for my body, it feels a little bit counterintuitive to do too much salad when the weather is cold. So I might do, you know, a wintry salad on occasion that might have something like some roasted pears, some roasted beets, and toasted walnuts in it or something like that. But I don't like ice cold food or even minimally too cold in the winter. Okay, so, but we all have to follow what's right for us, right? So this is going to be what my lunch is going to look like. And I can tell you right now that that one chicken breast is enough for me to have probably 2 servings actually. Okay, there. And then normally I make my own salad dressing pretty quickly. But I was going to use the rest of this that my niece brought for me. It's a Mother Raw organic Japanese, which I love, salad dressing. So it has a bit of an Asian flavor. So I'll just use that. And this will be fine. Drizzle that on like that. That's it. Okay, so can you all, let's make sure you can see what this actually looks like. So how does that look? Thumbs up. I got a thumbs up.
2 thumbs up.
2 thumbs up. Yay. Oh, thank you, Susan. Thanks, you guys. Oh, thanks, Nancy. Well, I hope that you will try this because let me just tell you, it is easy and it is really, really good. So hopefully you will try it because it's a delicious, delicious recipe. So good. Anybody else? Anything? Any questions?
Does anybody have questions related to cooking to Worcestershire sauce? Just generally, even if it's not specific to this particular recipe?
Yeah, good question.
Well, one little question is,
Sure.
So I was running back and forth. Is the recording available to watch this again?
Yes, I will eventually post it. I am a little bit slow with getting these posted. I'm going to try to be better about that, but that's my job.
They get posted to YouTube.
What's
that? A lot of things going on.
Oh, well, that's good because I was looking for the moon milk because I had to miss that one, but so I'll just look for it later, right?
Do you have our Zoom class page on the website bookmarked somewhere? Because that's where I'm going to post everything, whether it's new classes or how to register, old recordings. The links will all be on that one page.
Okay, great.
Okay, I thought it was YouTube, so thank you for clarifying.
Well, I mean, it is on YouTube, but I'm going to link to it from that page. So it's just kind of like a one-stop shop page.
That's better. Great.
Yeah.
Excellent. Look at Gemma's. Thank you. Good. All right. Well, I guess that's it for today then. Thanks, you guys.
Right. Do we want to?
So much fun.
Thank you. Thank you. And yes, and we will, you're so welcome. Come on, stay up. Yes, and we will do more classes next month as well. Yeah. What did we say, Courtney? I'm sorry, I forgot to write it down. We want to go work on next.
We were going to do naan, and then we were going to
bread. That was it. The naan.
We were going to do tamarind, like specifically a tamarind class.
Yeah. Okay. Perfect.
So.
Sounds good. Thanks, you guys.
All right.
Everyone have a great day. Bye-bye.